Alrighty, how's it going, everybody? It's Riptide807 here. I hope you're all having a wonderful day today. Yes, I am still alive. So that whole getting better internet and starting to live stream thing over the summer didn't really work out. So that's why there was no live streams over the summer, pretty much. But recently, I've been playing the Battlefield 6 beta. I've put over 30 hours into it, and I gotta say, it feels so good to play a Battlefield game that actually feels good to play, like, immediately. 2042 was, well, we all know how that went. And then Battlefield 5, I don't know. Battlefield 5 just didn't really click with me on launch, and then I just never really came back. But oh man, Battlefield 6 is fun. And it just feels so good to just play like what feels like an actual casual FPS again. I never realized how much I miss just like hopping on a game and just actually truly being able to just relax. But this video is going to be mostly unscripted, so this is just going to be me rambling basically about how much I love this beta and how much I can't wait for the full launch. But yeah, I mean, I guess I'll just start with the good here. So the good sections for me are the gunplay and the maps. I know the maps are going to be a bit of a hot take. I've seen a lot of people online complaining about, the maps being too small and stuff like that. But I have faith that the devs are going to have an appropriate spread of maps on launch. At least I hope they will, because otherwise, I don't know. I do want some big maps in the rotation. I'm not gonna lie, I am a little scarred from 2042's gargantuan maps. So playing these like smaller, more like urban focused maps felt very good. And I mean, I don't have really any complaints about any of the maps right now. I don't find myself hating any of them. It's just, I know a lot of people don't like the peak map, but I've found like a play style on that map that I just think works. And that play style is basically, I usually just play around like B, D, and E on the map just to kind of avoid that other side of the map. But sometimes I will try to push up into F and just kill the snipers up there. But I mean, yeah, I don't have a problem with any of the maps in the beta. I think they're all very solid. I do think I am a bit worried that when the game comes out, a lot of the maps are going to seem similar. I hope not every map is like small urban like warfare. I like urban warfare maps, but just like if we had 9 maps and they were all like that, I think it would just get tiring. But from what I've seen from like the preview events and stuff, it doesn't look too bad. And then the gunplay for Battlefield 6 feels incredible. It feels great. I've seen a lot of people saying it's a bit too laser beamy, I guess, but I don't really see that. I think there are a few guns that are like very laser beamy, especially if you like build them to be that way. But I've already heard that DICE is making recoil changes. My hope is that they just don't go too extreme with it. Not to mention, I also think that the weapon customization is in pretty much a perfect place. I am very happy with like what parts of your gun you can change, what the attachments do. I like that it's simple. Honestly, sometimes like in games like Call of Duty, the amount of attachments can just get exhausting. So it felt very nice to just have like a very simple set of attachments that it was like that all just did like very simple things. It was like, this improves reload speed, or this will just make your hipfire better. So the gun customization with like the whole 100 point system is very good. I very much enjoy that. Customizing my guns, like building them out to be certain ways, whether I want them to be like a laser beam or I just want to be able to never have to ADS with it, have insanely good hipfire and mobility. So I've got no complaints on that end. And also shout out to DICE for actually showing us these stats for how the attachment is changing the gun versus just a random slider going up and down. Thank you so much for that. I also think the weapon balance, besides the shotgun, is pretty good. I feel like a lot of the weapons that were in the beta, you know, they have like their identity, they have the thing that they're good at, and then they have their downsides. Like, for example, comparing like the carbine, like M4A1, which is just an all-around very solid carbine. Like, it does decent damage, it has decent range, its spread isn't too bad, pretty moderate recoil, versus something like the, I believe it's the AK205, I think, the second carbine. That carbine is very easy to control, but its trade-off is that it does less damage and has a bit of a slower fire rate. So I like that every weapon so far seems to have like its own identity and its own ups and downs. Besides the shotgun, that thing is absurd. But besides that, I really enjoyed the weapon variety, and I maxed out every weapon in this beta, and I had a blast doing it. I loved using every weapon. The only weapon I really didn't like was the first DMR. I thought it was a little underwhelming, but besides that, every other weapon was great. And one last thing I want to touch on super fast is the movement. It is literally perfect. DICE, don't change it. Do not listen to some of these players that are complaining about it. It is literally in a perfect state. Don't touch it. Not everything in the beta is perfect. I mean, of course it's not. But for me, I do want to take a bit to just kind of talk about like class identity, open weapons versus closed weapons, stuff like that. So I found the classes to be fine. I'm glad we are returning to a more traditional class system with no specialists or anything like that. But at the same time, I really, really feel like closed weapons would help class identity tremendously. Because right now, it's like, when you're playing the open weapon playlists, it's just like, I don't know, it's just like, it feels like there's no, like, readability, I guess, is how I would describe it. It's like, oh, that guy's wearing a ghillie suit, but he had an assault rifle or something. It feels like the gadgets alone just do not separate the classes' identities enough. So I really hope DICE goes with a closed weapon system, but I don't think they want to or are going to with how hard they've been sidelining the closed weapon playlists during the beta. It's like weekend 1, we had the one playlist for it, and then again this weekend, we have just the one playlist again out of all these playlists, and there's not even an option to search for closed weapons in like the new custom search that they added. So I just have this feeling that they're just gonna, after this beta, they're just gonna go, oh, well, you know, not a lot of people played the closed weapon playlist, so we're gonna stick with our original plan for open weapons. And I think that just kind of sucks. It feels like it's almost kind of just like rigged. It's like, okay, you've been saying you want to take community feedback, but then you're just like doing these weird things in the playtests to like make it seem like you were in the right originally or something. I don't know. It's just, I really hope DICE truly considers closed weapons, because I think they have to make a choice. You're not going to be able to split open and closed weapons into two different playlists. Unless literally the game launches and hits the beta numbers that it's been hitting, which I don't personally think it will. Maybe quote me on that. Maybe I'll be wrong. But even then, eventually the population is going to drop, and you're not going to be able to support open and closed weapon playlists anymore. And then that will be forced to be locked into the Portal server browser. So it's, yeah. DICE, please just do closed weapons. It just makes the classes feel much more dynamic and interesting. I also want to touch on netcode and just like hit registration and stuff. I don't know if this is just because this beta has absolutely exploded in popularity, so the servers are overloaded, or if this is actually a game issue, but I'm just going to talk about it just in case. Hit registration can feel a little wonky sometimes. Like, there's been plenty of moments where me and my friends shoot at a guy, and it's just like, I swear to God, the bullets draw, like, a perfect figure of him, of the person you're shooting at. So getting just like the net code looked at and stuff, plus dying around corners. I've noticed I die like around walls pretty often. Like I'll be running to get to some cover, and then I'll make it behind the wall, and I'll still die, giving me some X-Defiant PTSD right there. But I'm hoping that this is just an issue because of how overloaded the servers are and how massive this beta has turned out. But I figured I would bring it up just in case. And one of the last things I want to discuss is enemy visibility. Sometimes in this game, seeing people feels almost impossible, to the point where, like, with the new auto spotting, it almost feels like it's required. And like sometimes matches will just like come down to shooting the diamond simulator, where it's just like I'm not even like seeing these people I'm shooting at. I'm just shooting the diamond above their head. So I definitely think enemy visibility needs to be worked on. Maybe just like tweaking some colors, or just making them stand out a bit more against the environment. I'm not saying put like an outline around them or anything. I don't want that. Just making some small tweaks just to slightly improve visibility on enemies, so I feel like I'm not relying so hard on shooting the diamonds above their head just to hit people, especially in certain areas of certain maps, like the map you're seeing right now, Iberian Offensive, that left side of the map where all the trees are and stuff, that place just becomes a shooting diamond simulator. So hopefully we can just get some visibility improvements, and that would help tremendously. But I mean, besides that, I really do not have that many complaints about this beta. It is incredibly solid, and it feels so good for Battlefield to finally just feel like it actually has its shit together. Because, Jesus Christ, it was looking like for a while there that we were just absolutely cooked. But, yeah, I think that's all I have to say. So let me know down below what you guys think of the Battlefield 6 beta. Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? I've seen pretty much every side of that opinion online over these past 2 weekends. And, I'm going to be starting live streams up again very soon because I'm heading back to college. So live streams are going to be returning. It will be mostly the finals content with some Battlefield 6 mixed in there, and some Arc Raiders and some other stuff. So if any of that piques your interest, drop a sub. And yeah, thanks for watching, and have a great day.